Travel hack you can use on the plane. In today's video, we are going to talk about travel hack you can use on the plane. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Saloua. I am a full-time traveler, aka digital nomad, and an online business coach. And I have been traveling for over 3 years, over 25 countries and 3 continents. And I'm going to share with you my own experience and my travel hacks and tips that I hope will help you have a smooth flight. So let's get going. My number 1 tip for you is make sure to weight your bag ahead of time. If you are going to be checking in your bag, make sure you weight it so that way you don't have any surprise when you're gonna check your bag at the airport. I've had many times where I went overweight. So what I do in that case is I carry with me a tote bag so that way I can remove extra item from my luggage and put it in my tote bag. If you have a connecting flight, I highly recommend you sit in the front of the plane so that way you can exit the first one and then catch your connecting flight. I have made the mistake to sit in the back one time and I had a connecting flight and the gentleman who was in front of me did not want to let me go through, even though I had my stuff and I was ready to pass and everybody had moved on. He didn't want, he was still with his kids fixing the stuff. He said, we all need to get out of the plane. So he had an attitude. I still managed to get out of the plane on time and thankfully the other plane were waiting for me. I was the last one running there. So I will never make the mistake again. If I do have a connecting flight, I'm gonna sit in the front. If you hate turbulence and you a little nauseous, if that's a word, sit in the middle near the wings. That's where it's more stable. My favorite is the emergency exit because there's a lot more room, but just know that with that you are taking on responsibility in case something happened in the plane. You have to help out other people to exit smoothly, so remember that. Next tip, I carry with me on the plane wipes, lotion, and nasal spray because it gets really dry, especially on long flights. And also lotion, I put that with me, like really next to me under my seat. And I also have with me a hoodie, a scarf, so in case I want to sleep, eye mask and earplugs so that way I can be all cozy and sleep. And then I also bring either an empty pillowcase where I stuff my clothes in there and I can sleep, or I got a better deal. Now they have those little inflatable pillowcase. Well, you can take that pouch of air out and actually fit up with your own clothes like socks. That way you can reuse the space and put some of your stuff in there and I'll save you space in your luggage. Do not forget, very important, to bring a change of clothes with you in your carry-on. So those important items, underwears, some clothes to change just in case your luggage disappear. It happened to me one time. I flown to Brussels and my luggage was sent to India and I didn't get it for a whole week. So that's very important to have some stuff with you. That way, in case of emergency, you got everything else. Along with that, in your carry-on, you should also have your really emergency stuff like your birth control, your medicines, and your tampons, like the things, I'm talking to my ladies here, obviously. These are also important to carry with you on your carry-on. And by the way, I will make a whole separate video on the item list that you should have in your carry-on and how to pack and all that stuff. So if you want that, make sure you leave me a comment down below. Next, you can bring food on the plane. You can pack your sandwich and bring food on the plane. This is allowed. The only thing you have to remember again is that smoothie, hummus, and yogurt, all of that are considered liquid, so you don't want to go over 100 milliliter or 3.3 ounces. That's very important, otherwise it's not going to go through security. And also, I know in the US you can go through security with fruits and vegetables, but in some international countries it is not allowed. I learned the hard way. One time I brought an apple with me. It was just in Canada, but they told me I wasn't allowed because the risk of spreading invasive pest plants. Oh Jesus. Because of the risk of spreading invasive plant pests. Now you know. Next tip for you, make sure you download your movies. I do it from Netflix and I save them on my phone. I like to watch it on my phone, but you can do that on your iPad or on your laptop. And honestly, I've had long flight where I watched a whole series of something and it made it a lot more enjoyable. Also, you can do on the plane is catch up on work and reading. Some airlines have Wi-Fi available for free, some other you have to buy a pass, but honestly I always found the Wi-Fi on a plane sketchy. So what I do is if I have to get some work done, I would write this on a doc offline, because you can download Google Doc offline, so you make sure your documents are saved, and that way I can get work done and it's saved on my computer for the next day. But most of the time I either watch Netflix or I would be catching up on a good book. Next thing, pack a bag of chewing gum with you. That way, when you chew the chewing gum, it's gonna avoid those ear popping when you're on the plane, and that's like makes you feel better. It makes me feel better, so I always bring chewing gum with me. Next, if the airline loses your luggage, you have the right to get compensated. You have the right to get compensated for up to $3,000. Remember that. Do not lose your luggage number, my friend, until you get home and you have your luggage with you. That will save you if your luggage disappeared. It's very important because this is how they track your luggage. And my last tip for you, if your flight is delayed or canceled, you have the right to be reimbursed. Not just given a ticket on a next flight. You have the right to be reimbursed even if you have a non-refundable ticket. Alright, that was it for travel hacks on the airplane. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. And if I missed anything, please let me know as well. Do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Kisses from Chicago. Woo! Done! Spreading invasive plant pest. Invasive... anyways. To risk... Because of the risk to it... Make it... Okay.